Win a $100 gift card this Super Bowl Sunday. BettorOff is going to be giving 3 people a Visa gift card. Anyone can win. All you got to do is make a pick against the spread for the big game. 3 lucky BettorOff users will be chosen randomly, and we'll send a $100 gift card. So download the app and let us know who you got for the big game. The lines are chalked, the game is set. Super Bowl 56 is here, and in this video, I'll be giving you a full breakdown complete with my best bets and final score predictions. Ready, set, bet.
Oh, let's get ready to gamble!
Merry Super Bowl, everybody! This game has woven itself into the fabric of this country so much that it may as well be a holiday. It has a lot of the characteristics of one. A lot of friends and family get together for the occasion. You see faces you haven't seen in a while. People bring food, fire up the barbecue. Alcohol is usually in attendance. And inevitably, the night will end with some tears and vomiting for some people. In fact, an estimated 16.5 million Americans will call in sick on Monday. And at least 10.5 million have already taken the day off in advance. I guess some people make an appointment to get shit-faced.
I'm ready to get drunk.
And others like to let them happen a little bit more spontaneously.
We're going streaky! Yes!
Hey, I ain't judging though.
Everybody's doing it.
This Super Bowl Sunday, there is a wide variety of ways that you can win or lose some money, and as usual, I'll be sharing my best bets. And although the Super Bowl is the last game of the football season, here on the BettorOff channel, we stay dedicated to pumping out sports betting content all year round. Whether it's college hoops, NBA, NHL, English Premier League, or MLB, we got you covered right here, so make sure you subscribe and tap that bell. Most of our content is time sensitive, so tapping that bell is definitely important. As for the big game this Sunday, well, let's dive in. The Bengals are a 4-point underdog to the Rams at most books, and the total is at 48.5. Now, if you check on BettorOff, it says that Caesar Sportsbook is giving you the Rams at -3.5, and if you really are feeling the Bengals, you can find them on PointsBet at +4.5. Typically, the Super Bowl features 2 of the best teams in the league, and I'm not saying that these are not the 2 best teams, but a 4-point spread is higher than the norm for a Super Bowl. But in the past 8 years, the Super Bowl spread has closed at 4 points or higher only 2 times. Coincidentally, those 2 times the underdog won outright. But if you get too caught up in trends, you can find all sorts of ways to convince yourself about a hunch. Like, did you know that of the last 16 Super Bowls, the team with the worst regular season record won 13 times? Advantage Bengals. Or did you know that in 14 of the last 17 Super Bowls, the winning team wore white jerseys? Advantage Rams. Of course, you can always go the celestial route and look to the stars for guidance. But let's actually compare these teams and see if we can get a better idea of what to expect. And I always like to start in the trenches. Sometimes people get too caught up in the end result and who scores the touchdowns, but it really starts with the big guys up front. Cincinnati has a subpar offensive line. And when I say subpar, I'm being polite. Joe Burrow was sacked more than any quarterback in the league this year. I ain't saying they suck, but they kinda do. The Rams have one of the best defensive lines in all of football. They feature a couple of Hall of Famers. I mean, I'd say that there's a clear advantage to the Rams here. Going the other way, the Bengals defensive line actually exceeded expectations this season. But expectations were kinda low coming in, so let's just say that they rate as a middle of the pack unit. The Rams, on the other hand, do grade out as having a top 10 offensive line. It's not a glaring advantage, but again, another advantage for the Rams nonetheless. Now, when it comes to athletic skill positions on offense like running back, wide receivers, and tight end, I would actually say that the Bengals have slightly more talent when it comes to explosive playmakers. But the Rams also have a solid secondary led by Jalen Ramsey. For me, I'm going to be paying attention to see if he's going to be shadowing Jamar Chase all game long, or if they keep him on one side of the field to kind of lock that side down. Either way, I give the Bengals a slight advantage in this matchup. And when you flip it to the Rams on offense, well, they should be able to move the ball against the Bengals secondary pretty easily because they rank 26th in yards allowed per game. This is another clear advantage for the Rams. Now, as for these coaching staffs, at the start of the season, I think that most people had Bengals head coach Zac Taylor as someone who was on the hot seat. This was year 3 of his tenure as the Bengals coach, and coming into 2021, his regular season record was 6-25-1. But hey, there's nothing like making the playoffs and going 3-0 to make yourself look like a genius, right? Seriously though, all credit where it's due. The fact that Zac Taylor was able to get his team this far with the pieces he has in place, he did a great job. And perhaps he owes a debt of gratitude to the guy he's going to be trying to beat on Sunday. You see, Zac Taylor's job prior to working for the Bengals, he was the quarterback's coach for the Rams the last time they went to the Super Bowl. Of course, his boss was Rams head coach Sean McVay. As for who holds the advantage, I gotta give that one to McVay. All I gotta say is the proof is in the pudding. In 5 seasons as the Rams head coach, his win percentage is among the best in history, and he did most of that with Jared Goff as his quarterback. Advantage Rams. The last thing I want to compare are the quarterbacks. Now I know a lot of people like to compare quarterbacks straight up in a hypothetical universe like these guys are playing in a quarterback challenge, but that's just not how football really works. If that were the case, I would take Joe Burrow over Stafford. Not because of any particular physical traits, but because this dude reminds me of Joe Montana. He isn't the biggest quarterback, he doesn't have a cannon for an arm, he can take off and get a few yards when he needs to, but his running ability really isn't amazing. He just has it. Whatever he doesn't have in physical ability, he makes up for in moxie, or swag if you will. This dude is as cool as a cucumber when it matters most, and he will find a way to win your team some football games. He's a gamer and a winner. On the other hand, Stafford came into the league as kind of the can't miss prospect out of Georgia. I remember Mel Kiper Jr. gushing over this guy during the draft. And he does possess all the elite tools of an elite quarterback. Good size, decent mobility, and a strong arm that can make all the throws that you'd want from a starting quarterback. But being able to do something and executing it consistently is what separates the good from the elite. You could make the argument that Stafford was a victim of his environment when he was with Detroit. But the quarterback position is the one position where you have the most control of the outcome of your team winning and losing. Granted, the Lions are arguably the worst franchise in football, but I grew up watching guys like Dan Marino and John Elway drag their teams to the playoffs year in and year out, sometimes with rosters full of nobodies. I mean, you can compare Stafford's numbers to whoever you want, and he's going to stack up well against any of the greatest in history. But he has also played in an era where throwing the ball 50 times a game is normal. And a lot of those games with the Lions, they were playing from behind and they had to air it out. Just saying. Now look, I'm not trying to bag on Stafford. I've just never considered him an elite upper echelon quarterback. But hey, if the Rams win this game, I think his resume might be good enough to punch his ticket to the Hall of Fame. Do I think that he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame just based on that? No. But if he can do it multiple times, I might have to change my tune. Anyways, between Burrow and Stafford, this comparison is not necessarily who is a better quarterback. It is who is in a better position to succeed. And when the comparison is framed that way, I give the advantage to Stafford. Plain and simple, he has a good offensive line in front of him, and the Bengals have a weak secondary to throw against. The same cannot be said for Joe Burrow. Alright, so here's how I see this game unfolding. One team is going to kick off. The other team is going to get the ball and try to score. The opposing team is going to try and stop that from happening. And they will keep doing that for a few hours or so. At the end, one team will have more points than the other, and they will be crowned the Super Bowl champs. You're welcome. Nah, come on guys, I ain't gonna leave you hanging like that. I got you guys like Bambi's mama. I'm expecting Sean McVay to really do his best to control the clock. It looks like the Rams are getting another running back into the mix with Darrell Henderson. This makes it a trio now with Cam Akers and Sony Michel. I expect him to take advantage of that. Having the extra back adds a new wrinkle and some fresh legs to the mix. The Bengals don't really have a feature back to key on this way. I expect some sweeps, end arounds, maybe a couple of reverses to loosen up the middle of the defense. The more the Rams can control the clock, the more it puts pressure on Burrow to score each time he has the ball. Speaking of Burrow and pressure, I expect there to be plenty coming his way in this game. If he can rise above it and lead his team to victory, legendary status will be achieved. I just don't see it happening though. In fact, I mentioned in the Wednesday prop bets video that I would bet on Burrow throwing at least one interception. Now, I do think that this is going to be a good game most of the way. But the Rams hold too many advantages of the Bengals. I mean, if it comes down to who has the better quarterback and kicker, I'll take the Bengals. But I think that the pressure that the Rams defensive line is going to create some turnovers, and those turnovers are going to create separation throughout the game. My final score prediction is the Rams 27, the Bengals 17. On BettorOff, I locked in the Rams at -3.5 with Caesar Sportsbook, and I rated it a 2. I also took the under at 48.5 with DraftKings, and I gave that a 3. And I also have a 2-pick parlay with the Rams on the money line and the under. That will pay 2-1 if it wins. I rated that a 3 as well. As mentioned, I also put out a video on Wednesday sharing all of my prop bets for this game. Here they are again. If you'd like a full breakdown of why I like each of these props to hit, you can go back and check it out on our BettorOff YouTube channel. Just looking ahead, we have plenty more to come with March Madness right around the corner, NBA, NHL, English Premier League, and Major League Baseball whenever they get their act together. So stay tuned by subscribing to this channel and tapping that bell because the best is yet to come. You can also follow any of my best bets anytime absolutely free by downloading the BettorOff app. Once you get on there, I ain't hard to find, just look up Sports Day, all one word. And hit the follow button if you want to be notified whenever I make a pick. Anyways, thanks for watching. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Stay safe out there, and best of luck banging on the books.